Okay, so all we have to do now is change the light over to this mirror and it should work. Which, by the way, the sunflower doesn't amplify the light. That doesn't make any sense. It just focuses it to a point. So, does everything still make sense? Alright, I'll explain the whole thing one more time. The light from the sun is currently bouncing off the third mirror, then the second mirror, and going straight to the leaf bridge, which is only open when the light hits it. But when the third mirror is adjusted to face the first mirror, the leaf bridge will close, but the light will then bounce off the third mirror, then the first mirror, then the fourth mirror, then into the sunflower, which will focus the light to a point on the pod and pop it, releasing the stingray into the bulb plant. He will then chew on the flytrap roots, which will send an electrical charge through the roots, and as we saw in Savito's laboratory, this will open the flytrap, which will consequently free the bird. Does that clarify it for you? Oh. And there's actually two different ways we can do this. I mean, they're essentially the same thing, you just do it in a slightly different order. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and save my game right here. That's good enough. I feel like I'm breaking the fourth wall, or some other unspoken rule I haven't heard of, but I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, the first method's going to be exactly what you expect. We're just going to go over to the mirror and adjust it, and then watch the fireworks. So, can we, like, see anything from this angle? No? Well, okay, never mind. Stay focused. Okay, here we go. That is one large bird. But like I said, there's another way to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and load the game. No, let's do it the cool way. Alright, so the second method's going to be a bit of a multi-step process, but that's mainly because we got to backtrack a little. The first thing we're going to do is bring the stingray back to the last pod. So now the mural's lit up again. But more importantly, adjusting the mirror won't immediately solve the puzzle anymore. You would expect it to still burn a hole in the pod anyway, but it doesn't happen. I guess it takes water pressure to drag the stingray along, so that might be why. Okay, there we go. So now everything's in place except for the stingray. And by the way, this is the only other way to do it. Like, you can't be standing by the sunflower when it happens, because the light's still facing the bridge, right? Okay, so this time we're gonna have a front row seat, so you might want to put your safety goggles on. Hooray, freedom! It's always nice to perform a good deed. But the stingray isn't swimming around anymore. He must not like his new home. In fact, he just looks depressed. Oh well, there's really nothing we can do for him now. So, the big question is, what did all that accomplish? Besides being nice to the bird and mean to the stingray. To be honest, it's not really clear at this point. We just gotta press on and hopefully we'll see how it ties into everything. Wow, those really are bright. Anyway, the reason why we came back over here is to adjust this mirror to face the other one again. Gotta open the leaf bridge again because that's where the path to the next part of the tree is. You know, that animation that played when we freed the bird, it didn't really look like the light burned a hole in the pod. It looked more like it brought the water to a boil and it burst through. Doesn't sound very realistic, but that's what it looked like. But I've heard that steamed stingray is quite the delicacy. Okay, so now we're back at the split log. But that way leads over to the sunflower and all that, so we don't need to go over there again. But this way leads over to the swing vine, which goes to the next level. I guess the vine is all wadded up in that basket there, which would explain why it's able to stretch so far. Okay, so let's have a look-see here. Last time we went up the stairs, which took us back to the previous level. Well, we don't need to go back up there again. There's a giant moth on this rock. But there doesn't appear to be anything special about it. Well, that sure looks like the path. Or no, it goes this way. Well, we finally arrived at the bottom level of the tree. Unless there's an underwater section or something. This is where the forest meets the water, so naturally it features a mucky swamp. So let's admire it in its beauty. Then complain about how the confusing layout gives us a headache. Of course, our attention is drawn to that huge water lily in the center of the swampy bog, but at the moment there's no way to get to it. Oh look, it's a game within a game. It's called Find the Path. Oh. I thought we were done with these things. Well, where there's a mirror, there's light. And the sun. What is this? A branch in the shape of a chipmunk? What's the point? Is this a joke or something? Whatever, let's look at the mirror. Nothing. The angle's probably too wide again. There we go, now we got a light beam to aim at something. Like, there we go. It makes those little antennae on the water lily stick up. That's kind of neat, but it's not very much. Is there anything else here? No, it doesn't look like it. So I must have missed something somewhere along the path. I mean, it dead-ended here, so if that's all this level had to offer, then we'd be kinda screwed. You know, I think water lily is kind of the sissy term for those things. I'm gonna call it a lotus.